will attack Tyler Glasnow with the same exact group they used to beat him in Game 1. Betts, Seager, and Turner, Muncy, Smith, and Bellinger, Taylor, Peterson, and Barnes. Dodgers, who led all the Major League Baseball in runs, homers, slugging, and run differential during the regular season, thought they had enough last night. Certainly you usually do think that when you score 6-7 runs. Was not to be the case, and Game 5 is underway. Tyler Glasnow's first pitch to Mookie Betts, a fastball off the plate. Well, Glasnow worked on Tuesday. He got the opener, 4 1/3, 6 earned runs on 3 hits. Control was his problem. 6 walks in that game in the eventual 8-3 Dodger win.
You know, Matt, overall, I don't think he was wild. I just think he was too tentative. I think he gave the Dodger hitters just too much credit. Mookie Betts, as we mentioned earlier, had 19 pitches in his 3 plate appearances against Glasnow. I mean, that's just too much information for a hitter against one particular pitcher.
Betts was quiet yesterday, unusually so, on a night when the lineup around him erupted. Mookie was 0 for 5. Left 3 base runners a night ago, struck out 1 time. It's good news, bad news if you're the Rays, right? Good news is you handled him. The bad news is a guy like that's due. And it's 3-1.
Yeah, we have talked about this. When Mookie Betts hits, the Dodgers win. He is now 1 for 19 in Dodger losses in this postseason. You keep him off the base, good things happen for you.
Glasnow's fallen behind to start the ball game. 3-1 home to Mookie Betts. A full count now.
You see that fastball is 98 miles an hour, and there's a little tail on it, and that's a natural tail on his fastball. It's a 4-seam fastball. But he doesn't try to cut it. It's just the way he throws his fastball. It's got that natural run away from right-handed hitters.
The full count pitch. And Betts pops it foul out of play.
If I'm catching Glasnow in this game tonight, like Mike Zunino, I'm calling a pitch and sitting right in the middle of the plate. His stuff is so good, he doesn't have to locate it. He's just got to throw it over the strike zone. So don't ask him to be too fine.
Betts hanging around, still 3-2. Well, in his postseason career, Tyler Glasnow's record fell to 2-4 as a result of the Game 1 loss. His ERA at 6.46 is the 6th highest of anybody that's had 30 postseason innings in their careers. Next 3-2. And Betts serves a rocket into left. Betts on his way into second with a leadoff double.
It didn't take long for him to erase memories of an 0 for 5 last night. And once again, too many pitches. Take a look at Mookie Betts. When the Dodgers win, he is in the midst of it. 16 home runs in 52 wins and a .329 average. When they lose, he doesn't get on base, but he is on base with a leadoff double here in the first inning of this game tonight.
And he is on base in front of the hottest Dodger hitter, Corey Seager, the 2-time All-Star, 7 for 14 in the series after a 4-hit night yesterday. First pitch curveball is fouled off. Seager saw plenty of Glasnow Tuesday night as well. Drew 3 walks against the Rays right-hander. This entire Dodger lineup, if you're just helicoptering into the series, is exceedingly patient. They average just over 4 pitches per plate appearance. And Seager has a base hit into right. Renfro's up and throwing. Throw will be cut off, and just like that, 2 at-bats into the night, it's 1-0 LA.
Another breaking ball to Corey Seager, and he hammers it into right field. It'll pick up his 19th RBI of this postseason. Boy, he's been swinging the bat great all throughout the postseason. That just got too much of the plate. About belt high out over the heart of the plate, and he rips it into right. Betts got a good break on contact and takes a peek at Renfro. but they've got no shot at throwing Mookie Betts out at home.
So now Justin Turner, Mr. First Inning Homer. He has struck for first inning homers in each of the last 2 ball games. Both the Dodgers and Rays, Buck, very good when scoring first as you take a look at the damage LA has done. You mentioned this earlier in the series. The only Dodger to homer in 3 consecutive postseason games. A third baseman that was around there for a few years by the name of Bill Madlock, who was really good with a few teams.
Yeah, that was way back in 1985.
One and one. Well, here's a question for you, because the Dodgers, who come out swinging and are already on the board, and I guess you could talk about the same circumstance on the other side of the scorecard. Bullpens were used extensively last night. How long is the leash if either one of the starters stumbles early?
I think both managers are going to kind of sit back and watch what they develop. And there's a cross-up right there. As Zunino, he expected to get a breaking ball, and you could see that ball, I think it just hit him in the mask without him getting leather on it. And now he says, "You okay?" Kevin Cash checking with his catcher, and he's like, "What's going on out here, boys?" Watch the catcher. He's going to expect a breaking ball, and he just barely deflects it with the glove. And I tell you what, that's a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He did a remarkable job of just getting his glove up. When you call a curveball with a guy that throws 100, your glove feels like it weighs 25 pounds. You can't move it fast enough.
So it's a ball and 2 strikes, and Turner's rung up.
I mean, it's really interesting how they would use a sequence of signs with nobody at second base. And take a look at Glasnow and what he throws. You're going to get a lot of 4-seam fastballs, and it's got tail on it. He's already hit 100 miles an hour with it. His curveball has got to be consistently in the strike zone as he threw it to Turner. He's got to be able to get that second pitch over to keep them honest and lay off that fastball. Here's a great hitter's perspective of that 12-6 breaking ball.
Max Muncy now. He was 0 for 1 with a walk and an RBI that came on a fielder's choice play against Glasnow Tuesday night in Game 1. Muncy's had a great series. 5 for 15, 5 RBIs, second only to Brandon Lau as the World Series leader in that category. Good breaking ball in for a strike to put Muncy behind 0-2.
Well, that's a good sign for Glasnow that he's able to get that curveball in there for a strike early in this inning. He dropped one in there to get Turner looking. And he's really not trying to throw his best curveball. He's got a nice rhythm and a good release point on that curveball, and that's why he's been able to throw it for strikes.
Muncy taking a moment to step out. As we have talked about throughout the series, he is undeterred in 2-strike counts. 1-2. It's in the dirt. Seager on his way to second where he's safe. And that was really close at the bag.
Zunino's got a cannon for an arm, and he got on that ball in the dirt very quickly, but Seager did a good job of reading the flight of the ball, recognizing it was going to be in the dirt, and took off for second. Watch how quickly Zunino gets on this ball. He takes a peek. Seager's running, and he's got a strong arm. Makes a good throw here. Laz Diaz, the second base umpire, waves Seager safe. Boy, that was pretty close.
Sure was close enough for the Rays to issue a challenge. So this play is under review. No conclusive look at it yet. This one might give us what we need. Nope, because you really can't tell when the, well, maybe you can. Maybe that's our best look yet.
And Zunino, from his perspective, felt like Seager was out.
Here we go. And I can't tell you one way or another.
You just have to look at the base move when that glove hits the leg and whether or not the tag was applied before he made contact with the base. We haven't really seen an angle that gives you a clear idea. Adames and Seager aren't really sure.
There was a first inning challenge yesterday that went the Dodgers' way. Another first inning challenge tonight. Again, it's too tight. And unless you had a camera on Willy Adames' belly, I don't know that we have what we need to overturn that.
Watch the base. See, the base didn't move before the tag. I think he tags him here and the base still hasn't moved, but it's so close to overturn.
Wow. Yeah, we are splitting hairs with all these looks that we've had, and it looks like we do have a decision. Call stands. It's just not enough there to overturn it.
No, not at all.
So it is a wild pitch charge to Glasnow that advances the base runner with one away. And it's a ball and 2 strikes to Max Muncy. From the stretch, the 1-2. Checked it. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
We saw this last night with Muncy. How he saw nothing but sliders, gets one fastball at 99 and he's all over it. Ripped it into right field. The hardest hit ball of the night.
And here we go. Starts 0-2 and he's right back to a full count.
That was against Fairbanks, and Fairbanks threw him 3 straight sliders and he had 2 strikes and they decided, okay, I can sneak one by him. Can't do it. He was all over that 99-mile-an-hour fastball last night.
3-2 pitch, and he loses him on ball 4. I'm telling you, Max Muncy, I just can't recall watching a guy swing the bat with so much confidence in 2 strike counts. And we're not talking about 3-2 and 2-2. He starts 0-2 in the hole, and he just doesn't care.
No, he's got such a good eye, and he's so quick to recognize ball or a strike, and that's his 20th walk in the postseason. He's got now 20 walks and 20 strikeouts.
We mentioned kind of facetiously that there's no chance he's going to get to Barry Bonds, who has the all-time record for postseason walks, but Muncy's gaining ground here.
And the difference is Bonds was walked intentionally a lot of times. Muncy's working for his walks.
So the jam gets a little stickier now for Tyler Glasnow as he goes back to work on Will Smith. Smith delivered an RBI single against Glasnow in Game 1 Tuesday night. One for 4 yesterday, and the second-year catcher would love an opportunity to atone for the defensive miscue in the 9th inning last night. Here are the numbers on the walks. It's pulled even with Gary Sheffield of the 97 Marlins with the second most in postseason history. 1-2.
Then again, the Dodgers in this first inning have pushed the pitch count up to 23 already. And there's still just 1 out.
LA was just 4 for 16 yesterday with runners in scoring position, having a number of opportunities to open up a bigger lead. Two and 2.
Dodgers stranded 10 base runners in that 8-7 loss.
Two pitch home to Smith is swung on and missed. That fastball is lively as ever tonight for Glasnow. That's his second punch out of the game.
Yeah, it runs up and away from Smith, and he chased it with 2 strikes. Late movement at 98, top of the zone. Difficult to put a bat on the ball. That was past Smith. He just blew him away with that heater.
Big at bat here for Glasnow as Cody Bellinger seems to have his number. Hit a 2-run homer against him in game 1. His 3rd career home run against the Rays right-hander.
Game 1, and he gets that fastball and he drills it deep into the bullpen in right center. 3 home runs against Glasnow. Only Giancarlo Stanton has hit as many home runs against Glasnow. He too has 3.
Fastball at 100 and then drops that curveball in the dirt at 83, and he's ahead 0-2.
And now he's got to run the fastball away from him. Keep it away from him, up and away. Don't give him anything on the inner half that he can drop the hit on.
A fastball that gets away from Zunino, and Seager advances to 3rd. I'm not sure if that's going to be scored as a wild pitch or a pass ball.
Yeah,
but
I think it'll be a pass ball. I mean, he had a clear shot at catching. It was 101 miles an hour. And he's had a couple of tough pitches. Watch this pitch. It's in a tough spot down and in, but I think he's got to catch that ball. I mean, he knows what he's dealing with as far as the velocity from Glasnow, but he's just a little bit late going to the backhand.
I'm going to write this down. 8:24 Eastern time on this date in late October. You said that it was a pass ball. That's smothered by Lau. He has no play, and Seager scores. And how big was the pass ball now?
And Bellinger continues to come through against Tyler Glasnow. Boy, a couple of good base running plays by Corey Seager. He got the second base on a bang wild pitch and then moved to third base on the ball off of Zunino's glove. You know, we have talked so much about home runs in this postseason, and you can see they keep the ball on the infield, but there's nowhere to go for Brandon Lau.
I mean, we sound like a broken record with this, Buck. Another 2-out, 2-strike run. It's just uncanny.
It is. And you know what? It's all about confidence. The Dodgers have so much confidence at the plate that if they get to 2 strikes, they can come through, or they can work for a walk and the guy behind him will come through.
Look at those numbers. They're hitting .371 with 2 strikes and 2 outs. That's over twice as good as the league average.
Well, and too, it's against some of the best pitchers in the American League. A lot of strikeout pitchers.
Chris Taylor's in a quick 0-2 hole. Taylor has struggled striking out in the series. Yes, he's got 4 hits, including a homer, but he's punched out 9 times in 16 at-bats.
But again, the big number for me is 32 pitches in the first inning. The Rays have a streak of 6 consecutive World Series starts of their starter not pitching 5 innings, going back to 2008.
Taylor checks his swing on the breaking ball. Earlier in the postseason, there was a lot of discussion about Glasnow's inability to command his curveball because of a thumb injury. It's something we clarified with Kevin Cash today before the game. He said the thumb is not a problem. Yet Glasnow has not been able to command the curveball. He does get a swing on it. Taylor strikes out. 3 strikeouts for Glasnow in the first, but more importantly, 2 Dodger runs. And early at Margot and Renfroe switched spots from the game 1 lineup against Kershaw. Margot batting cleanup tonight. And then it's Wendell, Adames, Kiermaier, and Zunino.
Clayton Kershaw has been staked to a 2-0 lead before he throws a pitch in this game, and he was terrific in game 1. 6 innings, 2 hits, just a single run.
First pitch to Yandy Diaz, misses the corner outside. And for Clayton Kershaw, coming off such a masterpiece in game 1, 8 strikeouts, allowed a run on 2 hits over his 6 innings in the opener. There are a lot of numbers to peel back tonight with Kershaw regarding second starts in a postseason series like the one he's making tonight, regarding his World Series history. We could go back and break down how and why he was so successful in Game 1, and I would imagine, Buck, that a lot of that formula is going to remain tonight. His slider was outstanding Tuesday night.
Yeah, it was, and he was able to locate it almost exactly where he wanted it just about every time he threw it.
In front of Diaz, 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's the curveball. He didn't use an awful lot of curveballs, but when he's patient with it like that, he can drop it in for a strike and then use that slider. He'll throw that slider toward the right-handed hitter's back foot, and we'll get a lot of swings and misses on it.
Diaz grounds a base hit back up the middle. So Yandy Diaz reaches to start the home half of the first.
Well, that was a slider, but it stayed out over the plate, and he didn't finish it. He didn't get it down and in to where he wanted it. And we talked about Kershaw, how he was dominant in his first start, and over the course of his postseason career, as he gets deeper into series, he's not as effective as he is early on.
Randy Arozarena, now one of the Rays heroes a night ago, 3 for 4 with a homer and scored the game winner in the last of the ninth. Arozarena was held hitless by Kershaw Tuesday, 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout. Remember the way that game started Tuesday night. It didn't look like Kershaw had his legs under him in that he allowed 2 of the first 3 batters he faced to reach safely. But once he righted the ship, there was nothing else to be yielded that night.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit with his command in that first inning. He threw 20 pitches in the first inning and got just 1 swing and a miss out of 5 swings overall. But after the first inning, it was lights out. He allowed just 1 base runner. That was the Kiermaier home run.
He would go on to retire the next 13, and now he's in front of Arozarena, 1 and 2. A record 9 postseason homers this year for the Cuban-born Randy Arozarena.
You know, and we have talked about the people that he has passed and now leads in home runs, and look at what he has done in this postseason. He's tied all time with a number of hits with Pablo Sandoval. Had that great run with the Giants. Extra base hits tied for second. Home run. He's first alone. Total bases. 5 3-hit games in this postseason. And coming into this World Series, he had a total of 84 regular season at-bats in the big leagues.
Amazing.
He's got almost as many postseason at-bats, 73, as he's had in his entire major league career in the regular season.
2 and 2. Diaz at first with nobody out, and Arozarena takes that one. An easy call on the check appeal, and it's a full count.
Boy, he's got quick hands. He can really get to those fastballs when you think you got him set up, and then he's able to stop his swing. Lays off that low slider.
As important to the Rays as Betts is to the Dodgers. Let's go back to that if we may, because it's just as stark. I mean, he powers the Rays. We've talked about this all series long, Buck. If there's no Randy Arozarena, the Rays aren't in the World Series.
No question about it. He's got 5 home runs, 4 when they lose, but the difference is the slugging percentage, the on-base percentage. He's just consistently in the middle of any rally for the Rays when they win.
Into left field and well hit. That's trouble, and it's a foul ball. Oh, and not by much.
Boy, how quick did he get to that ball? And it was a defensive swing, but he's able to stay on it and just nearly hit another home run. Well, he's made some great adjustments. Watch the swing. That ball is down. And for a minute, he thinks he's got a chance to go out of the ballpark, but it hooks foul.
Man, I don't know. Where do you go to get this guy out? He can get to the fastball away. He gets to the breaking ball down at his back foot. If you're cooking up a game plan for him, and I know it's going to be different based on right or left-handed starter, man on or not, but as a generality, where would you try to expose him?
Yeah, it's difficult because he can get up on top of the high fastball, and we've seen him hit 97, 98 on the fastball, and then he stays back on the breaking ball as well.
3-2 pitch to him is hit on the ground to shortstop. Seager to Taylor, back to Muncy, the double play. I mean, that at-bat was a battle, but Kershaw won it in the end.
Yeah, he sure did. He made a good pitch and gets the ball on the ground, and they had him defended perfectly. So he goes from just nearly hitting a 2-run home run to hitting into a 6-4-3 double play. Seager gets to that ball very easily, and once he does that, it's a textbook 6-4-3 double play. Taylor with the good pivot and strong throw from second.
Two-gun base is empty now for Brandon Lau. And Lau picks on the first pitch and pops it up. Nothing comes of the leadoff single. To the second inning in Game 5 with the Dodgers on top 2-0.